Welcome back. This is Stop 2 and it's Tonto National Monument. Hey.
Hey.
So where are we headed?
So we're at Schoolhouse Campground. We're about to leave and head out. We're going to go to Tonto National Monument, see the cliff dwellings there. Couple things about the Schoolhouse Campground. It is right on Roosevelt Lake. It's a beautiful area. It's a beautiful drive to get here.
It's just one of those moments you have to pull over and take it all in. Wow.
One thing to note though, there is no water or dump station at this campsite. Now, I think the board said that they were working on the water, so they might have water in the future, but check it out before you come.
Gorgeous here. Surrounded by the mountains.
Surrounded by the mountains, we have saguaros. And I mean, it's just a typical desert. The good thing is that they do have a pavilion, they have a picnic table, fire ring. And so you've got, you've got a few amenities. They do have porta potties set up, so that's about it as far as bathroom facilities as well.
So come prepared.
Yep, come prepared. No electric. Yeah, you're on your own dry camping.
I mean, we haven't had electric since we started.
Nope. We won't have electric for a couple more days.
All right. Look at that, Chris.
That is amazing. That is so beautiful. And so this was just like 10 minutes away from the Schoolhouse Campground where we camped. It's a fairly small national monument. There's like two cliff dwellings to see. One of them is by reservation only and guided only, and that's the upper cliff tour. There is a self-guided lower one that that's the one we're gonna do.
Welcome to your cliff dwelling. The only rule we have up here is no hands on the plastered wall.
All right.
Now, all the wood that you see in this structure, except for those 3 horizontal beams that are stabilizing those walls,
Okay.
all the wood is original from 700 years ago.
Wow.
And you will discover that this quartzite boulder right behind you is part of the original structure. They just built the wall over it.
Oh, wow.
Now, when you go up these steps and come back around and look into this first room through the gated doorway, you'll see an original floor and fire pit. And that's a room typical of what people would have been living in. When you come over to the next room and look through the gated doorway and look up, you'll see an original intact roof. And if you look all the way to the left-hand side, you'll see a hatchway cut in the roof so that people could ascend between the floors using ladders.
Wow.
Very cool.
Now, when you go up those steps over there and look into that room behind the wall,
Okay.
you'll see what's left of an original roof, but you'll see how it was constructed. Strong beam holding the weight, major beam, column, major beam supporting the bulk of the weight, and then smaller logs or branches running horizontally, and then they would have put saguaro ribs in the opposite direction, covered it with grass, and then about 2 inches of caliche clay. So
Okay.
you are welcome to wander about. If you have questions later, I'll try and answer them.
Thank
and
you,
these
Jay.
are, you said, how old exactly, or
They were
roughly?
built in the early 1300s, occupied continuously until about 1450, and then everybody left. The cliff dwellers left. Down along the Rio Salado, the Salt River, which ran on the far side of the lake, there were more than 50,000 people down there
Oh, wow.
who had arrived in the 1200s and were irrigating off the Salt River and growing the three sisters, corns, beans, and squash, plus cotton.
Huh.
The folks up here were hunter-gatherers, although they obviously had some skill in building Puebloan-type structures. But they were also making pottery, some of it quite ornate.
We saw some down in the
Yeah.
visitor
Yeah.
center.
And the men, we believe it was the men, were weaving cotton clothing.
Huh.
Wow.
It was quite fancy.
Wow.
And they traded all of that, of course, with the folks along the river, but their trade network ran farther than that. We found copper bells from Mexico City area. There was no metallurgy here at the time.
Wow.
Seashells from the Sea of Cortez and the Pacific Ocean. I don't know what they wanted with seashells. Maybe to fashion on the bottom of the garments for ceremonial purposes or dancing would make a clinking sound.
Yeah.
And the skeletons of macaws. Now, why would you trade for a skeleton? So the belief is the macaw was alive, and of course it has very colorful feathers, which would add some ornate additions to the dress to make it more valuable.
Right.
Interesting.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So if you have a chance to go to Tonto National Monument, I highly recommend it. Probably only takes about an hour to an hour and a half, depending upon what you do there. There's only really the one self-guided cliff dwelling that you can see. And then again, if you make reservations, you can maybe see the other one as well. And then you'll spend obviously probably another hour there.
Yeah, and thank you to Jay for taking the time to tell us all the cool things.
Oh yeah, definitely. He was an incredible volunteer, and
my
really
gosh.
appreciate all the volunteers that work at the national parks and monuments.
Yes. So thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and follow us for our next leg of this journey.
See you soon.